Tibetan diaspora is the oldest refugee population. The relevant period of Tibetan history begins in 1950. Tibet's incorporation into People's Republic of China began in 1950 when the People's Liberation Army entered the Tibetan area of Shamdo. The autonomy of Tibet has since remained a highly charged and controversial issue. The late 1950s saw the beginning of the Tibetan resistance movement and armed uprising against China, culminating in the 1959 Tibetan uprising in the capital of Lhasa, during which thousands of Tibetans were killed. The Dalai Lama and some members of the Tibetan government subsequently fled to India, followed within a year by about 80,000 Tibetans. These migrants were displaced and were struggling to find a shelter and some basic human rights. They were not recognized as the citizens of any country and were deprived of the most common rights like employment, education, and health facilities. Finally, India signed a refugee agreement, after which there was a proper order in place that regulated the entry of Tibetan nationals into India. Despite of all the hardships, the Tibetans chose the non-violent path to preserve their culture and community. In the Tibetan culture, they try to inculcate all the qualities and the beliefs to the future generations. They continue to put in a lot of effort into education and institution building in order to preserve their culture. One of the core teachings of Tibetans is Dharma. They believe that Dharma teaches one how to develop realistic hope and overcome fear. They strongly believe in karma, that is, the action of body, speech, and mind. The Sarnath International Nainma Institute in Sarnath, Uttar Pradesh is one of the leading establishments of its kind, preserving and expanding not just the Tibetan culture but also the Buddhist beliefs. The institution also plays an important role in preserving the Buddhist text, as it is through the text that they spread the religious beliefs. Apart from that, the institute hosts monks and volunteers from all around the world. There is a two-way exchange that takes place at this institute, where the volunteers teach English language to the monks so that they can spread the teachings about Dharma, and in return, the volunteers learn about Dharma and other Buddhist practices through the monks. Buddhism is one of the most widespread religions in the world, but for many, Buddhism is not just a religion, but it is a way of life.